Thank you, Monica. When you move to a new place, you can really learn a lot. And when you move from a small town of population 3,000 to a metro area exceeding 4 million, you can even learn more. I was only 14 years old when I made the move from a small, rural, quiet town in Cannon Falls to a big metropolitan area in Minnesota, the Twin Cities. And when I look back at this move, it had a really big impact on my life, a sizable impact. And one of the first things from this move that I can say that I learned is that my competition on all levels truly rose when I moved to this new place. Prior, when I had been living in this small, rural, quiet country town, as long as you could really dribble the basketball and talk on a cell phone at the same time, you were considered basically a star at basketball. You were considered really good. And in the Twin Cities, in the big metro, you couldn't really do this. You had to have actual talent, you had to be good at basketball, a big difference between the two. Another aspect in terms of competition was the parking in the big city versus the small town. In the metro area, you had to really work. You had to really work for your parking. You had to earn it. And in a small town, you could basically park wherever you wanted. You can park here, you can park there. So definitely a lot of different things in terms of the competition in the two areas. And once I adapted to this new competition, at this new area, I was then able to learn what the environment was like in the big city and how to entertain myself in a big city. And where I came from, that small town, the big entertainment was once a year there's this county fair. And the county fair, it only happened once a year. So it was enjoyable, but it only happened once a year. So when things only happen once a year, it's hard to get too excited about it. It leaves a lot of gaps in between that once a year excitement. And I guess in the big city, you could go to movies, you could go to the famous Mall of America, and you could also, Prince is from Minnesota, so you could go to a concert if Prince was in town. So I mean, that's some good stuff, I guess. And I learned quickly that, in the metro, you could really, there's a lot to keep somebody occupied. There's a lot of things to do. And once I became more familiar with these surroundings and I got used to it, I was able to next learn like an important piece of life, in my opinion, what true diversity was. In the small town I came from, it was a population of 3,000, essentially all Caucasians for the most part. With our only diversity was 5 adopted South Korean children, and in my opinion, that's not very diverse. So, not a lot of diversity. When I moved to this big city, though, and I started school when I was 14, I was then able to really learn about what diversity. I became a minority at this big school, filled with Latinos and African Americans and Hmong and just a big wide variety of ethnicities. And to me, this was great. I was always curious of what different cultures were like and what they had to say and just everything that surrounded different cultures. Based up to that time, my knowledge of diversity and ethnicities and everything surrounding that was due to MTV and Hollywood, which is not very accurate as we know, most of us know. So by going to this new school, I was really able to get a good idea of what diversity was, and I truly appreciated that. So overall, I guess I just wanted to say that this move was a good move. I learned a lot, and I learned about the new competition aspects of a big city, what was going on in a big city, and just what diversity was, and things that I still kind of carry to this day, and I still think that, at least I try to incorporate to this day, so that is it.